Hello and welcome to What the Hey, where I'm your regular host of What the Hey, and today on What the Hey, I'm once again answering yet another question. When I go to my notebook of knowledge, I see the question of, what the hey is Pokemon? Now this question was asked by Mr. 2007, so hello to you and thank you very much for the question. Now, in terms of a very basic description, Pokémon is both a video game and television franchise where humans essentially capture different creatures and have them battle. Now, Pokémon was created by a man known as Mr. Satoshi, so hello to you, and a genuine thank you for creating something that, has been around for a long time and seriously impacted a bunch of people's childhood. Now, Pokémon isn't actually the original title for the franchise. That would actually be Pocket Monsters, which goes back to the original and first game of the franchise, Pocket Monsters Red and Green, which was released on February 27th of 1996, but Pocket Monsters was the initial and original name. Which I guess makes sense, now that I think about it, because Pokemon go in Pokeballs, and I guess those can go in your pocket, or they're just super small. That makes sense, okay. Now, some of you may know Pokemon has been primarily owned by Nintendo, but also Creatures Incorporated and Game Freak have contributed to the franchise. Of course, there's a good crowd that will typically relate Pokemon to the video games, but there, of course, are the television shows, movies like Detective Pikachu. You have a musical for some reason. Then there are the comics, and then from 2005 to 2006, in Taiwan and Japan, there was a traveling theme park for Pokemon. I did not know that was the case. That's pretty cool. In total, from what I could find, there are 22 games that have been released for Pokemon. I will point out that some of those games are indeed remakes. They're not completely new, pieces of content, but there's still 22 in total, and the 22nd is actually coming out this year. Theoretically, I think that's cool. It looks cool so far. If you're someone who likes a physical copy of something, in general, Pokemon has two different ways to have that. There are, of course, the trading cards for Pokemon, which kind of relates to the whole idea of you're catching the Pokemon and you're collecting them. The other not so well known version would be the Pokemon Monopoly. I haven't played that. If you have that, very nice. But if you are a person who's more into the digitalized version of Pokemon, there's a bunch of consoles for it. There's the Nintendo Switch, there's the Wii, there's the Wii U, there's the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, iPhone, Android copies, GameCube, Nintendo 64, there's just so many consoles for Pokemon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're curious about the total number of Pokemon currently, there are 901. I don't know why they decided to make it an odd number, but that's what it is. So for this section of the video, I'm going to kind of list some of the more prominent characters that a lot of people know about. Most of them I kind of recognize from the anime series, so sorry if I miss anyone that you know about. But one of the main characters that a lot of people, if you ask them who's a character from Pokemon, they'll probably tell you Ash Ketchum, who I tend to call Ash Ketchup because I think it's funny. Then you got characters, of course, like Pikachu, who is typically the most well-known Pokemon out of all of them. There's Jessie, there's James, there's Meowth. Those are typically kind of the antagonist, villain characters in Pokemon. And then, of course, you have the occasional characters like Professor Oak and Gary Oak, who are kind of related. Well, they're actually related, but they're also important. And then there's all these random characters that I saw from a list where it's single alphabet letters, you have X and stuff like that. And then you have characters with color names like red. I don't know why. Now I'm going to list a few controversies that surround Pokemon, and personally I kind of think they're funny. So one of the main ones that's kind of joked about is religious groups kind of hating on Pokemon. One of the arguments for that is that the Pokemon evolve, they get stronger and they change. So some religious people are no, that can't happen. No. I mean, I don't know, man. Animals do be evolving naturally to, kind of live in their habitat. So I don't know how that doesn't work, but whatever, that's okay. The second controversy about Pokemon comes from PETA, and if you don't know what PETA is, that's like a very big animal rights organization. And their argument is that like the whole idea of Pokemon like creatures battling is not great. They're fictional creatures, but I can see how the argument could stand, but I don't know. It's Pokemon, bro. I don't know. Like an ice cream Pokemon fighting, I don't know, a Goldeen or something. I don't think that's the worst thing ever. And then this last controversy is kind of actually somewhat valid. When Pokemon Go became a thing, which was basically centered around iPhone and Androids, where you would have this app where you could basically take a GPS and walk around wherever and catch Pokemon. That was really cool. But when Pokemon Go was released, there were occasions where people would like hurt themselves because they'd be focused on the game and, you know, run into like a pole or something. I'm pretty sure there were more serious cases, but that was just a general situation. In my general opinion, I think that Pokemon is really cool. I personally did not grow up on it, so I don't have as much attachment to it as some people do. The closest thing that I could relate it to for me personally would probably be Bakugan, which is something I kind of got into for a little bit. I have watched a few different channels on YouTube like Oni Plays do playthroughs of different Pokemon games, so I kind of understand it to a degree. If you're curious, my favorite Pokemon would probably either be Mudsdale or Herdier. Specifically, I like Herdier because that kind of looks similar to like my dog, Toby. Shout out, bro, love you. I think I have a tendency to appreciate the Pokemon that look more realistic and have some sort of resemblance to some actual like animal, because then I'm like, oh, I can see how that would be a Pokemon. That's cool. I do kind of like the random obscure Pokemon that are created in different generations, but I kind of like the dog ones most of all. But that's essentially my answer to the question, so if you have any questions, let me know and I'll get to answering them as soon as I can. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.